Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will share you some of the most asked Hibernate interview questions and answers. The first one is, what is ORM in Hibernate? Hibernate ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. This is a mapping tool pattern the mainly used for converting the data stored in relational database to an object using object-oriented programming concept. This tool also helps to generally simplifying the data and retrieval the data from database and creating the tables and manipulating the data. Below diagram you can see it will map the object oriented object to the database tables. Next one, what are the advantages of Hibernate over JDBC? The advantages of Hibernate over JDBC are listed below. The clean readability code. Using Hibernate, it helps to eliminating the lot of JDBC API boilerplate code. Boilerplate code means duplicate code. It will reduce the duplicate code and making the code look clean and readable code. Next one, HQL, Hibernate Query Language. Hibernate provide HQL, which is closer to the Java and is object oriented in nature. HQL helps in reducing the burden on the developers for writing the database independent queries. In JDBC, this is not a case. The developer has to know the database specific code. Next one is transaction management. JDBC does not support implicit transaction management, whereas Hibernate provides the implicit in future. Developers need to write the transaction management code using commit and rollback in JDBC. In the case of Hibernate, no need of write a transaction management code. Next one, exception handling. Hibernate wraps the JDBC exceptions and throw checked exceptions like JDBC exception, Hibernate exceptions. This along with built-in transaction management system helps developers to avoid the multiple try-catch blocks to handle the exception. In case of JDBC, it will throw the checked exception called as SQL exception. Final one, special features. Hibernate supports OOPS features like inheritance, associations, and also supports the collections. They are not available in JDBC. Next one, what are the some of the important interfaces of Hibernate framework? This is the common questions asked in interview. Hibernate core interfaces are configuration, SessionFactory, session, criteria, query, and transaction. Next one, what is a session in Hibernate? A session is an object that maintains the connection between Java object application and database. It will maintain the connection between Java application and databases. Session also have a methods for storing the data and retrieving the data and modify or delete the data from the database. Session using the methods like persistence method, load method, get method, update method, delete method, etc. Additionally, it has a factory methods, return query, criteria, transaction objects. Next one is, what is the SessionFactory? SessionFactory provides an instance of the session is an factory class that gives the section object based on the configuration parameters in order to establish the connection between application and database. A good practice, the application generally has a single instance of SessionFactory. The initial state of SessionFactory, which include the metadata about the ORM, is immutable. Next one, the interviewer may ask the question, session being a thread safe object? No, session is not thread safe object. The number of threads can access the data from it simultaneously. That's why the session is not thread safe object. Next one, can you explain what is the lazy loading in Hibernate? The lazy loading is mainly used for improving the application performance by helping to load the child objects on demand. It will load the child objects based on the demand only. Since Hibernate 3 version, this feature was enabled by default. No need of enabling manually. Previous version of Hibernate before 3, we need to enable this feature. Next one, what is the difference between first level cache and second level cache? Hibernate has a two cache types, first level cache and second level cache. First level cache, this is a local to the session object and cannot be shared between the multiple sessions. Whereas second level cache, this cache is maintained at the session factory level and shared among all the sessions in Hibernate. Whereas first level cache, this cache is enabled by default and there is no way to disable it. Whereas second level cache, this is disabled by default, but we can enable it through configuration. First level cache is available only until the session is open. Once the session is closed, the first level cache is destroyed. Whereas second level cache is available throughout the application lifecycle. The application instance is not destroyed. It is only destroyed or recreated when the application is restarted. Next one, what can you tell about the Hibernate configuration file? You can explain the Hibernate configuration details like this. Hibernate configuration file or hibernate.csg.xml is the one of the most required configuration file in Hibernate. By default, this file is placed under the src main under resource folder. The main file contains the database related configurations and session related configurations. Hibernate facilitates providing the configuration either in the XML file like hibernate.csg.xml or properties file like hibernate.properties file. We can use either hibernate.csg.xml file or hibernate.properties file. This file is used to define the below information. Database configuration details like driver class, URL, username and password. There must be one configuration file for each database used in the application. Suppose if you want to connect with the two databases, then you must create two configuration files in different names. Hibernate properties, we can add dilate, show SQL, second level cache and mapping files names also we can maintain under this Hibernate configuration file. Final one, how do you create an immutable class in Hibernate? Immutable class in Hibernate creation should be the following way. If you are using XML form configuration, when the class can be made immutable by using marking mutable equal to false. The default value is true there, which indicate that the class cannot be created by default. Thank you for watching. For more updates, please subscribe my channel.